Interesting to see that people are actually more and more traveling also by car between cities. I guess that's something we've not really seen previously, and whoa, it's actually quite a lot of cars right there. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Transport Fever 2 in the free mode with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to the aquarium, where in the last time we left off after building this beautiful long railway all the way over here from Space City and all these new train stations in order to get a new public transport line going for ourselves. And we're going to continue on this railway today. We're going to extend it all the way out to Crawley, make sure to actually send a train on its way when we do have a line going, and then we will look at more business ventures to come. So very much looking forward to that, but just quickly before we get started on all that and more, if you're new around here and if you do happen to enjoy this very episode, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button right down below. That would mean the absolute world to me. We're going slowly but surely, every subscriber bit by bit towards that magical goal of 1,000 subscribers, and it just always really helps out a ton. So thank you very much if you did that, and without further ado, let's go and get right into this. So, going into here, we will go and grab those high-speed train tracks, and actually, I'm noticing a little something here. See, the thing that I'm a bit wondering about, I mean, we're going off the left train track here and connecting to the right train track in Aquarium. I guess it does somewhat make sense, because if we are going to use that second train track for something, well, it could honestly also be like going down to Blackburn or something. Does it make sense to use that bottom train track there, or do we need to change that real quick? I mean, technically speaking, from Crawley on out, we would... Will we connect all the way to Havant? I guess so, right? So, what would we realistically use that other train track for? We could potentially use it to bring in bread. So maybe, well, bread being food, but maybe we should go and check where we can get that from. This down here is already fully used, so it's not going to be there. We do have a few farms around here. We do have a food factory up there. And looking around, it seems that only Havant and the aquarium need food around here, so that's definitely going to be the one, I guess, delivering. Unless, well, what are we doing about Evesham? Evesham kind of needs to pull off of that one too, doesn't it? What other alternatives do we have in terms of food production up here? Nothing. Wow. I mean, the amount of food factories, I have to say, is really quite low on this map. We do have another one down here, but that's like then gonna cover Ledbury. Okay. So I guess this one down here may end up covering Ledbury and maybe like Havant, I guess. But one way or another, this one will be connecting to the aquarium. So it makes sense the way that we've laid out the tracks, I guess. Now the question is going to be, where do we want to connect these train tracks right here? For Crawley, we will have a connection coming in from down here, I feel. It may be directly from Darley Dale eventually. And it would potentially make sense to have some sort of passenger transport, like all the way from Stapleford or something along those lines as well. Well, maybe that's not... We would have to widen the platform, but generally speaking, if we did something along those lines, it would come in from down here. So I think we do want to kind of leave two train tracks open, ideally. The question there then kind of becoming, though, do we even have enough train tracks? To be honest. Because if we're bringing in one from there, and we're bringing in one from here, we only have space for another one passenger train track. And I feel like we may want more, like, I guess at least two. This is also a bit suboptimal, because I guess we could go like this, and we could go like that, but what are we going to do about Bolsover? Is that going to be a third one? You know, I was always worried about overbuilding the train station so much. Now I'm a bit worried that I have not really made this big enough, to be honest. Well, basically, I mean, generally speaking, right? I suppose we could always connect this a little bit up here and, you know, just demolish this, move some more train tracks in there for passengers, and then rebuild it. So we can make some adjustments, and we have somewhat determined that at least like 2 train tracks are going to be coming in from below. So the way that we're just going to be doing things here, so we're going to take the 3rd one basically, and we're going to go and start building out, and actually, well, we are somewhat going to have to pull that through the field, I suppose. Hope that doesn't impact the productivity at the end of the day of that farm. Otherwise, though, that's some nice speed right here. We do have a little bit of a tunnel down there, it seems, which is actually an interesting one, because if we already do have a tunnel, could we not just at least somewhat make that come up a tad bit later? Question is, if I build that now, will it allow me to get back up in time? I hope so. We will keep our fingers crossed for that. And it does seem that's the case, which is beautiful. No speed loss, no nothing. So that's all good. Okay, awesome. So we saved the fields. That way, I guess, definitely not an impact. And, you know, get some extra farming space still standing around. Not going to have to destroy that. That's absolutely awesome. So that's the connection all the way through them. For the passenger line, let's go and set this thing up, and let's maybe also check out the naming convention that we usually apply, because I don't want to keep messing naming conventions up. So we're calling it passengers. Okay, so first things first. We are going to go from here in Space City to there in the aquarium, all the way to Crawley. Just watching over the fact that that's actually properly connecting through, and does look to be doing that. And then we call it passengers Space City, the aquarium, and then Crawley, I think, was the last one, right? We will see in just a second. It is Crawley. Beautiful. So that's the line set up, and now the thing that we do need is going to be a train depot. I've got absolutely no clue in the world where I want to put that. Maybe over here in Crawley, given that we've got such a big train station. Maybe that makes the most sense at the end of the day. I think we should do that. So, nope, not what I wanted to do. We're going to go and raise that again. Make sure that it's maybe even a bit higher than usual, so it's more or less nicely aligned with the height of our railway that we're looking to connect to. And then we're going to go pull out some tracks all the way there. And that's that. Beautiful. So, now the question kind of becomes, what are we going to do in terms of the locomotive? How much do we want to spend? And, I mean, most of these places are honestly still quite small. Right, we've got a target population of 154 here. We've got 110 currently only. We've got like 114 here, which is pretty much also the target population, because we do not have any goods currently being delivered to Crawley, which I guess is going to change soon, because we do have this train going back and forth with machines, but it's just not delivered anything yet, I guess. I hope that's the reason. I hope there's no other issue. Let's maybe double check. Where's it currently headed? Okay, it's headed up. And it's not transporting a thing. Machine Stapleford Crawley. That's maybe something for us to investigate here. Why is it not carrying any machines? Very weird one to me, to be honest. I don't think that should be that way. So let's maybe check this entire line out. First things first, I guess, if we configure the train carts correctly, but I would suspect that those that we use there can actually transport machines. And they can. So it's the boxcars that we need to use. We've used them. It's all good. In terms of the line itself, it's going all the way through here, and all the way up to Crawley, reaching that spot nicely, and then we've got a terminal right here, we've got this right there, and then we've got this delivery spot right here. Which is also actually covering all the machine need. You know what we're missing? We're missing one crucial thing. Do you know what you need to actually deliver machines? trucks. We don't have any. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, good that we noticed, I guess. That would have been a wild inefficiency right there, and it probably already has been for quite a while now. So, let me go. Actually place this. And we will go and... These were better, right? Technically speaking, I guess so. Practically speaking... I'm kind of getting the feeling this one would probably be sufficient. No, we're not going to do it like that. Come on. We're not going to save like 3k or something weird like that. Now, the other thing that we apparently are also missing is a line. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, I don't know when that happened and when we forgot about it, but hey. Machine delivery Crawley. Cool. And that's the line, and then we can actually go and assign this truck to that line. And then, you know, this all actually starts making some sense. So, let's get this time playing for a quick second. We're going to go and actually intercept the train wherever it's at. Here. I'm going to turn it around. Because I want to, you know, make sure that it's actually going for a reason. Otherwise, it's going to be like 3 years of driving in one direction for no reason whatsoever. You would hope, though, that this actually makes things stack up. Or not. We are still producing. And we are also auto-saving, I guess. Come on, autosave. Taking a freaking long while. We don't have a single bit of machines. Okay, what's the issue? I don't know what's the issue with the game, first things first. Are you guys seeing this jittering? What is this? What's happening? I'm a bit worried, not gonna lie. Why is it becoming jittery like this? I am so confused. I guess we're back to normal now. Very weird one. I hope that was not, like, happening for you for a longer while. It just started happening for me. Apologies for that, I guess. I don't know what just happened there. But looking back at this one, so I mean, we do have... Truck stop right here. We do have this also assigned, and we did properly assign the vehicle, right? We did. And this one should be able to carry machines, right? Yeah, it's all cargo, so it's not our issue here. I don't know. Can anybody let me know what we're doing wrong here? I mean, I got everything until we kind of, you know, started the truck part. And now it's kind of like, why? I mean, we were producing away, evidently. We've got more and more machines piling up for Blackburn, so why are there none for Crawley? I was honestly kind of hoping we would actually get some public transport going and some, like, you know, trains and stuff. So I would like to get this issue out of the way, to be quite frank with you. I mean, we do have a, well, demand, rather. Most certainly for the time being. We do have this thing in range of the train station. We do have... This is not a side building or something. This is a main building, right? Just double checking. I mean, there must be some reason after all. Yep, definitely not a side building, so... We've got that. We've got this, which is a... Oh. If I set up that part correctly, actually. Where are we at with this? Machines to Crawley. I mean, it is using this terminal, so it looks quite fine to me as well. We can go and remove that and re-add that. And make sure that for staple food... I mean, this is a cargo-only station, so that should not be the reason. So, I mean, the train knows where to go. The train can transport the stuff. We are producing the stuff. We've got a line delivering the stuff, and we've got actually someone now working on the line delivering the stuff. So why in the world is that not working? I'm a bit confused. I think we're going to leave time running for a second. Maybe it's just taking its time to start stacking things up. Would be very weird, though, honestly speaking. Would be quite weird indeed. I'm not liking this part. There's something wildly wrong here. Oh, transport is shooting up. The transport quota just went up by a lot. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, I guess the game just took absolute ages to adjust, and now we're fine, so that's beautiful. We'll turn that train around once more, because it doesn't make sense for it to be going without goods, I guess, and this will slowly but surely start amassing goods. So, saved the day right there. That was a very weird one, and a very worrying one indeed as well, but we've got that out of the way, and now we can actually take on the topic of passengers. So, target population is even falling here, so, well, I mean, you know, emissions, and then we've got public transport. We've got no goods delivered, so, you know, that's the issue, but will change soon, I hope. So that's beautiful. That's great. That's awesome. We should have a few people there, a few people here, but no, overall, I guess I don't really expect that much traffic. Then on the other hand side, if we do make Crawley the hub here, we probably also don't want to make things too small. So I would go for a little bit of a middle route here. I think we will, first things first, get a train that's ideally rather cheap in terms of maintenance, which currently, well, I guess would be the BR75.4 again, which is at 90 kilometers an hour, not too terrible, honestly. And, well, I mean, then we can kind of go for, well, does this even make much of a difference? Probably not. We can go for this. I mean, what I'm saying, right, is like, sure, it has more capacity. On the other hand side, it also costs more per year. So, at the end of the day, probably to give or take, doesn't make much of a difference anyways. And I'm not sure I'm happy with that high speed, to be honest, because we've got the tunnels and we've got a bridge, so there's going to be a bunch of high slopes, to be honest. So maybe don't go for this one. At the end of the day, I do want to make sure that things are running somewhat smoothly. The A35 would be a solid-ish choice, I guess. We could also go for something like this, to be honest. I mean, those would be 20 passengers that we can carry, which is probably, honestly speaking, a bit low. We could chain 2 of the same train. Would come out to a similar maintenance cost, I guess. It's also quite cheap, isn't it? It's like 900k a year. If we go through this one, there's like 617k. Then we've got like, I think that's honestly, we'll try that. Why not, I guess. We'll just go for this, and then we'll probably replace it with a proper train as the need grows. I think at 125 kilometers an hour with 40 passengers of a capacity, it's probably going to be a solid start for the time being. And then, you know, the need will evolve at some point when we connect Crawley up to more hubs. And, well, not hubs, but to more places, because Crawley is the actual hub. And then I think that will kind of change. But I did just see that the naming convention there was a bit weird. So we do probably want to adjust that, because otherwise it's going to trigger me to heck every time that I see it. So please take that dash away. And now it's in the proper spot. So that's beautiful. Got a train going there. We can have a quick look. See it chugging out. No rails in there even. What in the world? Come on, give me a honk. Boring. I do not approve. Oh well. But well, that's nice. I mean, the upside also here being, honestly, it's quite cheap for an electric train. You know, given that we don't have to have any passenger cars, and a steam locomotive going slower would be quite a similar cost for us. And, you know, then we get an electric train which also has less emissions. So, win-win overall. I think that's a good way to go. We're going to go with this, and that should be hopefully very nice and fine. So, with that said, the thing that we need then, and we probably should stop for that, is that we do need to go and get some public transport going in Crawley, because I mean you can see that this is all kind of outside the city, so we do need to make sure to get that out of the way. Now the question is kind of, how do we want to make public transport happen here? I know that we've already got a tram in the aquarium, which is a bit bigger, but I'm also kind of tempted to do something similar in Crawley, given that I am looking to make it a regional transport hub and not just some sort of side city. You know, if we go at some point to maybe something like, well, Bolsover is actually not too small for a city that's not been developed whatsoever, to be honest. But maybe like Elstree or something, right? Like some 91 resident city or something, or Ledbury out here with 71, which is insanely small. Or, you know, even Havant out here only is 92, North Halletton. Not all these are a little smaller. So maybe for those that are a little more remote, the plan would be, generally speaking, to go and get like buses going or something. But over here, I think we're already going to take the measures ahead of time. We're going to go and upgrade the streets, and we're going to make sure that we can run some electric tram tracks to it, so that, through it rather, so that we can go and run a tram along here, because in my mind, I would say it makes the most sense. Now, I guess I can't change that, makes sense because it's not a large street, but that's all fine. I know it's like building removal and everything, and it's awful, but we all know that we will kind of need it. So I'm going to keep it like this for the time being. The question is kind of in which direction the city is going to develop, and I guess we don't quite know yet. It does feel like it's going to go around here eventually, so I'm going to make sure to upgrade these streets already before we incur additional costs. But otherwise, we'll kind of just, you know, do more as the city develops, basically. Now, saying that, I do need to go and actually put down some stops, as in one stop for the time being, I suppose, which would be more or less ideally placed around here. We do want to kind of make sure that we're covering most of everything, which that looks quite fine to me. And then we're good to go. Now, the one thing that I am going to do, so I'm going to go and upgrade this to a large street without a tram track for the time being. So we've already also done that. And, you know, if that ends up developing, we can always go with the tram track after the fact. We're just kind of pre-provisioning to not cost ourselves too much money in the longer run there, I guess. So that out of the way, then the next thing that we do require is going to be a tram depot as well. So I'm going to go and kind of try and wedge that one in right here. I guess that should somewhat work out fine for us. Oop, boy. Maybe not. I really don't know, like, the way that that attaches to the street there. That's better, I guess. It's still, like, not perfectly straight, but it also doesn't look entirely weird. I don't want this to go into, like, this curved design at the end due to the way the road builder works, and then I can't really change things the way I want it to anymore. So we're going to keep it like that. It should be fine. What we are going to do then is we're going to go and get a little connection going, and we will call this one, I guess, tram, right? Yes, we will call it Tram Crawley. Beautiful. With that out of the way, time to buy a tram. Gonna make it a small one. We're gonna make it only one because I mean Crawley is small, like teeny tiny small. So we're not gonna need more than one, but it is a start, and we will have a beautiful tram rolling around the streets of Crawley from here on out, which will ensure that all the passengers can actually reach the train station. And well, it's pretty much the end of the story. I mean, you know, we now have this all beautifully designed. The one question maybe being this. You will be able to see that we are in Space City, still missing the actual route to that. So, you know, almost another inefficiency, but we did manage to see that in time. I will have to go and put that in. The question is kinda... Wait, no, not Tool Space City. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's the wrong thing. Tram State Space City is what we want. So we will have to put that into the middle, and geez, this is actually a very long route at this point in time. We've got the train station, airports of course, then we've got London Road, and then West Street. So, not quite sure how I would ideally change that, to be honest. We do need to put it into the middle here somewhere, so I would probably go below London Road. And then the tram just comes out and goes up here. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That works out just fine. That way, we're also actually covering a bit more of the city, because it's even expanded to down here and out here at this point in time. I mean, technically, kind of need to make the tram go here eventually too. Jeez, it is insane. The speed at which Space City is growing is just mad. I think we're nearly at 1,000 people in that city now, which is like unheard of. 900. Like, look at this. This was all not there, like, just a bit ago, and the city's literally already grown all the way to the train tracks that we have out here. Absolute insanity, honestly. This is so huge. Interesting to see that people are actually more and more traveling also by car between cities. I guess that's something we've not really seen previously, and whoa, it's actually quite a lot of cars right there. All just driving around on the little dirt roads. I don't know if we may eventually have to upgrade that or something. I don't know what the requirements are, but I guess we will see about that in the future. That said though, that lets us finally end up with a functioning passenger transport, with all the public transport that we ever needed, all the lines going, all the trains going, everything checked off, and on top of that, we've also managed to go and fix this machine stuff for ourselves in Crawley, because, well, that was something I quite frankly hadn't noticed before. So, a lot of problems out of the way, a lot of things out of the way. In the next episode, I guess we're going to go back and actually look at more business to be had. We could continue our public transport expansion, getting more stuff going from Crawley. We could also start getting some more resources to the cities that we've already got connected, like, you know, food to the aquarium, or looking at tools to Crawley. Something along those lines. We've got all the possibilities in the world, but we will go and look at that and more then in the next episode. For today, I'm going to end this one off right here. I hope you all very much enjoyed it. Of course, as usual, if you did, please make sure to go ahead and smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell icon right next to it in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.